Welcome back, Mike. Do you think we're in a junior resource bull market? And if so, how much longer do you think it will last?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I do think we're in a junior resource bull market, and that's as measured by the TSX Venture Index. It's actually up about 57% year to date, and we've seen decent volumes right across the board. So about 200 million shares being traded on a daily basis. And even though it's up quite a bit, prior bounces from the bottom have taken markets up about 235% on average. So I do think we got at least another 1 to 2 years of junior resource equity positive movement.
How long do you think the current gold stock rally will continue?
I think the current gold stock rally, which is up about 25% year to date, may take a bit of a breather in the short term because the U.S. Federal Reserve has been dictating that they may be ready to raise interest rates. And any time that happens, investors buy into the U.S. dollar, which is a negative for gold. However, over the mid to long term, I do think gold can be higher, at least 10 to 15% from here. Given the geopolitical tensions globally, given the central bank's decision to lower rates and go into negative rates. And this all bodes well as an alternative currency for gold.
What's your outlook for precious metals for the next 1 to 2 years?
So precious metals, I think, will do well in the next 1 to 2 years, given the demand for things like platinum and palladium. China's growing the automobile use globally, so that's creating demand for those products. As well, silver is finding interesting uses in the form of solar power panels and whatnot. So those will do well over the long term, and gold as well as an alternative currency should continue to move up, especially given the central bank's move to negative interest rates.
What do investors have to be wary of in the near term?
Well, in the near term, there's always the expected and there's the unexpected. So the expected is this U.S. election, which is coming up, and there's been a lot of volatility insofar as what some of the leaders have said, and markets don't like uncertainty. So that's one of the items that could affect the markets. There's also the federal market, the FOMC decision to raise interest rates, and the markets get nervous when rates are moving up aggressively. So that's another thing to look at. And then there's the unexpected. Any sort of geopolitical tension globally could have an effect on the markets.
Which commodities do you think will do well for the remainder of 2016 and into 2017?
Well, one of the commodities I think is a sleeper is the natural gas side. There's big demand coming from alternate uses of transportation. So Obama has said he wants to lower the emissions on transportation. So alternate fuels for transportation will be a positive for nat gas. As well, we're seeing increased manufacturing in the U.S., which bodes well for nat gas demand for power plants. We're seeing increased exports into Mexico as they're building out their manufacturing capabilities. And we're also seeing liquefied natural gas being exported from the Gulf of Mexico into different markets. And on top of that, we've got the very hot summer that we're having, and that's creating big demand for nat gas. And heading into the winter, given that El Nino is behind us, I do think a normal winter will boost demand for nat gas. So I do think nat gas could be one of the better commodities moving forward. Oil is sort of stuck in a range here between 40 and 50. Supply has been coming off aggressively in the U.S. Production is down about 12% from the peaks. However, that's being replaced by the likes of Saudi Arabia and Iran, who are jacking up production. There's an upcoming meeting, sort of soft meeting with OPEC, and if they decide to sort of keep/freeze production, then that could bode well for oil in the mid to long run. The other precious metals, gold, I think short term will be under pressure given the uncertainty about interest rates and given that it's already up 25% year to date. So short term, a bit of a negative, but I think longer term will bode well.
What are your top stock picks in the junior resource space, and why do you like these names?
I like a company called Pine Cliff Energy. They're a junior natural gas producer, about 22,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day out in Western Canada, mostly in Alberta. And these guys are shrewd operators. They're picking up assets on the cheap and exploiting the nat gas wells. So they recently showed how clever they are with financing in terms of they got a cut in their bank line. However, they were out are able to raise money both with issuing a convertible preferred to Aimco, as well as doing some asset sales for over $5 million. So I like the management there. They're able to get the nat gas out of the ground in a very cheap price, $1 per MCF, and they're making money even at these levels.
Thanks for taking the time for today's interview, Mike.
Great, thank you.